Chosen One, this message didn't reach you by chance, and it wasn't drawn to you by random curiosity. It arrived through a precise, sacred alignment, guided by forces that understand timing far better than the human mind ever could. This is not background noise, and if you treat it like it is, you'll miss what was meant to reach you. This is a signal, intentional and alive, meant to stir something buried deep within you. There are people who move through life unaware of the weight they carry, never realizing the impact of their existence. And then there are those who were born set apart, marked from the beginning, observed long before they understood why. If you are one of the chosen, you recognize the feeling of being in a fight even when nothing around you seems wrong. Pressure showed up before promise. Resistance met you before recognition. Confusion came before clarity. That order was never a mistake. It was the only way you could survive what's ahead. That didn't happen by accident. You didn't suddenly become a target one random day. You entered this world already standing on contested ground. From the moment you arrived, something shifted in the unseen. Your soul carried an ancient imprint, a prophetic charge, and that presence did not go unnoticed. Heaven took note. Darkness reacted. Attention followed you before you ever understood why life felt heavier for you than for others. This is more than a personal story. This is the explanation behind the unseen conflict that has surrounded your life. And now, it's time for the truth to be revealed. In the chapters ahead, the nature of the spiritual war surrounding you will become clear. Stay with this message, not because you're supposed to, but because something in you already knows why. This is for the ones who endured silent battles without explanation, and for those who remain, clarity will rise, strength will be restored, and confirmation will settle in. Each time you return, another layer will unfold, awakening more of the warrior that has always been inside you. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1 begins with a truth that may feel unsettling, yet deeply familiar. You were not selected the moment you achieved something visible. You were set apart long before language formed on your tongue, long before memory took shape. From the very beginning, your life carried significance in places you could not see. This wasn't something you earned or requested. It was woven into you. You were marked by the highest authority, not by human hands. That mark was never meant to be seen with natural eyes, yet it resounded clearly in the unseen realm. Heaven took notice. Darkness took notice. Before you had words for purpose, forces were already contending over you. That is why you've always felt different. Even when you blended into groups, something within you stayed separate. Even when you tried to follow expected paths, your spirit quietly resisted. You couldn't explain why certain environments exhausted you, why settling for average felt suffocating, why shallow connections fell apart no matter how hard you tried. Your soul was never designed for the ordinary. Even as a child, you noticed what others missed. You sensed truth beneath words. You felt atmospheres change. You had dreams that lingered, images that felt bigger than imagination, moments that stayed with you long after waking. That wasn't fantasy. That was your gift surfacing before the world taught you to doubt it. The mark you carry is authority at the spiritual level. It is legacy written into your bones. It is the echo of prayers spoken generations before you arrived. It is proof that your life was assigned impact, meant to disturb foundations, to alter atmospheres, to bring light where darkness was normalized. And that is exactly why resistance found you early. Opposition does not waste effort on what poses no threat. It does not target what is harmless. It focuses on what is anointed, called, and capable of dismantling systems. Your existence alone unsettles darkness. Your voice carries weight. Your movement disrupts cycles that were never meant to continue. Your presence breaks patterns without you even trying. That is why the battles started sooner than expected. That is why you endured what others could not. That is why betrayal appeared without reason. The enemy recognized your potential before you did, and attempted to silence you before you stepped fully into it. But what was misunderstood is this: the mark on your life was never just a target. It was a covenant. Protection surrounded you from the beginning. You were never imagining the pressure. You were never exaggerating the fight. This is not chaos. This is spiritual resistance. The struggle you've known was never about where you were standing. It has always been about where you are going. And now, something is stirring. You are remembering what your spirit always knew. You were not created to disappear into the background. You were chosen to rise, to lead, to carry light openly. The mark has never left you. And now, it's time to stand in it with clarity. Because when you embrace who you truly are, the battle shifts, and the victory that was always assigned to you begins to unfold. Chapter 2 reveals the truth behind why your life has never felt ordinary. You were never sent here to simply exist, to blend into routines, or to quietly endure the days. Your arrival carried instruction. You came on divine assignment, one that was established long before your first breath ever filled your lungs. That assignment reaches beyond time, and its impact is felt in both realms, heaven and hell alike. What rests on your life was not given by human approval or earthly titles. It was breathed into you by God Himself. The authority you carry doesn't need to announce itself. It moves quietly, but it carries weight. When you pray, things shift that you may never see with natural eyes. When you enter a space, something changes in the unseen. Your presence alone unsettles powers that rely on darkness remaining undisturbed. You are the living answer to cries, your bloodline released through generations of suffering and waiting. Your calling didn't begin with you, but it flows through you. That is why the pressure has always felt intense. That is why your life never followed a simple path. You are not facing average resistance, because you are not walking an average road. Heaven is actively supporting your emergence, aligning moments, people, and timing to bring your assignment into fullness. And at the same time, opposition rises because what you carry threatens existing structures. Your destiny dismantles patterns that were never meant to continue. It exposes lies that depended on silence. It awakens truth where complacency once lived. You may think you're just trying to get through the week, manage responsibilities, recover from betrayal, or decide your next step. But the spirit realm sees deeper. You are not merely surviving. You are governing. You are spiritual authority in motion. Even when you feel unsure, your obedience disrupts unseen systems. Your healing breaks generational cycles. Your faith stirs what has been dormant. Your rise acts as a signal, an alarm that cannot be ignored. That is why clarity often comes with resistance. That is why distractions multiply right when alignment is near. That is why people fall away at the exact moment you begin to step into who you truly are. The enemy is not focused on your past. He is intimidated by your future. Because when you walk in purpose, you walk in power. And that power dissolves contracts made in darkness, breaks ancestral chains, and frees entire bloodlines from patterns of bondage. Every step you take toward your assignment sends ripples beyond what you can measure. Your yes echoes further than you know. Your alignment activates movement in the unseen. None of your prayers, focus, healing, or discipline has been wasted. It has all been strategy, even when it felt confusing. If your life has felt like a battlefield, it's because something is being launched through you. Something both realms have been watching since your birth. You are not here to simply pass through time. You are here to activate, to lead, to ignite change. You stand as a bridge between what has been and what is coming. And each time you choose truth over fear, purpose over comfort, alignment over ease, you advance the kingdom. Do not shrink your story. Do not dismiss your process. The intensity of the battle points to the magnitude of your assignment. And when you rise fully into it, the victory will be unmistakable, because when a chosen one steps into purpose, the unseen world is never the same again. Chapter 3 finally explains the battles that never added up until now. You were hit during seasons when you had nothing to prove, nothing to gain, nothing that looked threatening on the surface. You were betrayed by people you trusted deeply, dismissed in spaces where you were more than capable, ignored in rooms you should have been leading. You sat with questions that had no answers, asking yourself in the quiet, "Why is this happening to me?" The heaviness arrived without warning. The isolation didn't match your circumstances. And part of you suspected it wasn't normal, but you didn't yet have language for the truth. That's why this message feels familiar. It's not new information, it's confirmation. The sadness felt invasive, precise, personal, as if something was targeting you rather than your mistakes. You weren't flawless, but the pain went far beyond correction. It felt intentional, and now you can see why. None of it was random. Every storm that broke without warning, every heartbreak that cut too deep, every door that closed abruptly had roots beneath the surface. At the time, you couldn't see them. The truth is, those attacks were never about what you had done. They were about what you were becoming. Darkness recognized your future before you ever understood it yourself. The resistance you faced was not a reaction to your present life, but an attempt to prevent your emergence. What you labeled as failure was actually spiritual opposition. Not rejection from God, but disruption from forces that recognized your light. A light that cannot be ignored. A light that dismantles strongholds, heals generational wounds, and alters destinies. You were never losing your mind. You were being pre-targeted. Those marked by God are often attacked early. Before you could fully awaken, pressure tried to crush you under fear, addiction, isolation, shame, distraction, and delay. Because if you ever truly saw who you are, every lie spoken over you would collapse. If you ever fully healed, you would lead others into freedom. If you ever stepped into authority, you would reclaim territory that was never meant to stay under darkness. Think about it. No one attacks what isn't going anywhere. Opposition does not waste effort. It does not obsess over the average or chase the complacent. It targets those who threaten systems. It targets voices that carry truth. It targets people who cannot be controlled or bought. It targets those assigned to rewrite narratives, and that is who you are. That season when everything unraveled, when relationships collapsed, when hope felt thin, when nothing made sense, that was not just a rough chapter, that was spiritual warfare. A calculated attempt to exhaust you before you even stepped fully into your calling. But here's what the enemy misjudged. You didn't quit. You didn't disappear. You didn't surrender your soul, even when your strength was barely holding. You kept moving forward, sometimes slowly, sometimes painfully, sometimes on your knees, but you kept going. You survived nights that should have broken you. You carried faith when it felt empty. You walked even when the path vanished beneath your feet. And that endurance changed everything, because you passed the point where many give up. And now the shift is unavoidable. Breakthrough is close. What you endured quietly is about to be honored openly. Those attacks were never meaningless. They were a desperate attempt to stop something divine from rising. And now that divine thing is rising. It's you. This isn't just purpose unfolding. This is prophecy coming alive, and the unseen realm knows it. Chapter 4 reveals a layer of your journey that only makes sense when you look back with awakened eyes. There were moments when you walked away from situations you logically should not have survived. Places you exited while others didn't. Outcomes that shifted just in time. Near misses you only understood later. At the time, it felt like coincidence, like luck brushing past you without explanation. But deep down, you've always known it was more than that. It was design. It was intervention. Long before you ever became aware of your assignment, heaven had already stationed protection around your life. When your purpose was released in the unseen, guardians were assigned to you, not symbolically, but actively. You were never navigating this life alone, even during seasons when loneliness felt absolute and abandonment felt personal. While people walked away, heaven stayed near. Some of the most intense battles you faced were never meant to be fought on the surface. They were confrontations happening beyond what your eyes could see. While you were exhausted, grieving, or doubting your worth, forces were moving on your behalf, intercepting what would have destroyed you. You have no idea how many disasters were diverted, how many traps were dismantled quietly, how many plans never reached you because they were stopped before arrival. There were days when your strength surprised even you, nights when you couldn't find the words to pray, yet woke up with an unexplainable calm. Moments when the right person appeared, the right sentence landed, the entire direction of your path changed without warning. That wasn't random. That was assistance. That was angelic movement responding to your assignment. What many never realize is that angels are not distant observers. They are participants. They move with intention. They carry instructions. They are not only guarding your life, they are invested in your purpose. They respond when alignment deepens. As you step more fully into who you are meant to be, as you stop minimizing yourself, as you say yes internally to your calling, their presence draws closer, clarity sharpens, energy returns. Doors once immovable begin to shift. This is not imagination. Heaven advances when you advance in obedience. Angels are not myths or metaphors. They are active, present, and strategic. Some cross your path through unexpected people, carrying a message or provision at the exact moment you need it. Others operate silently, confronting resistance you never even feel. You have been preserved through things that should have ended you, not because of chance, but because of assignment. And understand this clearly: when opposition intensifies, reinforcement increases. You are entering a phase where awareness matters. You are not just one person enduring hardship. You are a vessel surrounded by movement from heaven. This journey is no longer just about survival. It is about execution, authority, forward motion. Angels do not hover to comfort purpose. They move to accelerate it. And the peace you feel when you choose truth, when you follow that inner nudge, when you align instead of resist, that is heaven agreeing with your steps. That is confirmation that you have never walked alone, and you never will. Chapter 5 reveals something most people never realize, and it isn't meant to frighten you, it's meant to wake you. Whether you've been aware of it or not, the unseen has always known exactly who you are. Darkness knows your name, not because you've been flawless, not because you always knew what you were doing, but because your existence alone is a threat. What you carry disrupts systems that rely on silence. Your presence challenges everything the enemy has worked to establish. Long before you understood your calling, it was already recognized. Before you learned how to stand, your anointing was noticed. While you were just trying to survive your early years, what rested on your life was being studied. From your first breath, attention followed you. That's why the attack on your identity was relentless. That's why betrayal, abandonment, and trauma showed up so early. The goal was simple: to break you before you became aware, to drown you in pain before you discovered your strength. None of it was accidental. Toxic connections weren't random. Delays weren't coincidences. Confusion, temptation, chaos, all of it was carefully placed to keep you doubting yourself, shrinking, staying silent. But it didn't succeed. You kept rising. Even when you were damaged, you were still breathing. Even when you were hurting, you were still learning. Even when you felt fragile, something in you refused to quit. And now something has shifted. You're waking up, you're aligning, you're no longer moving blindly, and the enemy knows time is no longer on his side. Every step you take toward truth, every lie you release, every layer of healing you allow dismantles his plans. That's why resistance increased, not because you're failing, but because you're finally moving correctly. You're no longer ignoring your calling. You're no longer settling for dysfunction. You're no longer begging for validation when heaven has already marked you. You have become a moving threat, and darkness reacts to that. Opposition doesn't waste effort on those who are asleep. It doesn't pursue what poses no danger. It focuses on those who are rising, those meant to lead, to heal, to break cycles, to awaken others. You were never meant to live hidden or diminished. You were designed to disrupt, to carry revelation, to rewrite generational narratives. And now that you're stepping into that truth, distraction tries to pull you back. Fear grows louder. Doubt tries one last time, but you're beginning to recognize it for what it is: desperation. Darkness knows that once you fully accept who you are, there is no turning you back. Your voice carries weight. Your prayers shift things. Your discipline terrifies what relies on disorder. One fully awakened, chosen one carries more impact than countless who remain unaware. So when pressure rises, remember this: you are not feared for where you've been, but for where you're going. Darkness knows your name, but more than that, it knows what you're becoming. And if you keep moving forward, healing, listening to that quiet truth inside you, there is nothing left that can stop you. You are already standing in power. Chapter 6 explains why you have always felt like you were standing between worlds. Never fully at home in one place. Too awake for shallow environments, too honest for rigid spaces. You sensed things others dismissed. You carried awareness that made people uncomfortable. You felt weight that didn't originate with you, burdens that felt inherited rather than chosen. That's because you were never meant to blend in. You were designed to connect what others keep separate. You are the bridge, the interruption in a lineage of repeating cycles, inherited pain, unspoken grief, and spiritual suppression. You were chosen to stand where others fell, to end what destroyed those before you, and to begin what no one else had the courage to imagine. Darkness tried to pull you backward, but light would not release you, because the conflict around your life is not small or temporary. It is generational, it is eternal, it is intentional. Your existence functions like a gateway. You are a living threshold. Through you, healing enters your family line. Through you, new patterns replace old wounds. Through you, truth moves from the unseen into the visible. Your words, your choices, your movement through life carry consequences beyond you. They echo across realms. You were selected to be the first in your bloodline to break free, the first to step out of survival, the first to return to alignment with heaven's design. That role is not light. That's why the pressure has felt relentless. That's why the battle feels so personal. Because it is. The opposition you face is not only trying to stop you, it is trying to block what flows through you. It knows that once you become fully aligned, fully aware, fully surrendered, the movement released through your life will dismantle systems built on silence and fear. Heaven has always known this too. That's why you were guarded when logic said you shouldn't survive. That's why you were preserved through moments that should have ended you, not because you were flawless, but because you were positioned. Positioned to rebuild what was broken, positioned to restore what was stolen, positioned to reconnect what was severed between heaven and earth. That inner voice that kept whispering you were different was never arrogance. It was remembrance, your spirit recalling where it came from. You've always carried more perception, more depth, more truth than you could explain. You've always stood at the edge of something larger than your circumstances, and the moment you chose to move forward instead of retreating, the bridge activated. Your life stopped being only about you. It became a channel. That's when things intensified. That's when relationships shifted. That's when your atmosphere changed. Because your spirit stepped fully into its assignment. You are the crossing point between pain and purpose, between what has been and what is being formed, between inherited wounds and generational restoration. You translate divine truth into earthly movement. You stand at the intersection of realms, and every time you choose truth over fear, love over bitterness, alignment over comfort, both heaven and darkness respond. Do not diminish yourself because others couldn't name your role. Do not shrink because they couldn't carry your weight. You were never meant to be small. You were meant to span worlds. You were born to close the distance between heaven and earth. And now that you recognize who you are, nothing remains unchanged. You are not merely moving through life. You are reshaping environments. You are not simply enduring time. You are redirecting timelines. You are not only healing yourself, you are restoring generations. Every yes you give to truth strengthens the bridge, increases the flow, and expands the legacy you were born to carry. Chapter 7 brings clarity to what your soul has always sensed, but never fully had words for. Chosen one, if you have ever doubted your worth, look no further than the scale of the battle that surrounded your life. That alone reveals the truth. Heaven and hell do not contend over what is common. They do not mobilize over what is insignificant. Conflict of this magnitude only forms around something carrying weight. The war itself is the evidence. The pressure you faced was never random, and the intensity of the resistance was never excessive. It matched the magnitude of what you were assigned to carry. You hold something powerful, something disruptive, something aligned with divine intention, and that is why opposition showed up so early and so aggressively. This was never about your mistakes or shortcomings. It has always been about your calling. Even in childhood, before you understood language or identity, forces were already moving. Long before you discovered your purpose, darkness had already identified it. You were not attacked because you were fragile. You were attacked because you were chosen, and the goal was to stop you before you ever recognized your own authority. The abandonment you endured, the losses that marked you, the betrayals that cut deep, all of it traced back to an unseen realm where both kingdoms understood what you carried. And as you began to awaken, to realign, to remember who you truly are, the warfare increased. Not to destroy you, but to slow you down. Yet here you are, still standing, still healing, still choosing light, still moving forward, even when the road disappeared beneath your feet. That is not weakness. That is the strength of a warrior refined through fire. That is resilience born of divine protection. You earned what you carry now in silence, in surrender, in endurance. No one applauded. And now it is time to stand in it. You are chosen not because you were the loudest, the most polished, or the most confident, but because you were willing to endure the unseen, willing to trust when clarity was absent, willing to keep showing up when darkness felt thickest. And now your life has become a beacon for those still searching. Let this truth settle deeply. The war was never meant to erase you. It was meant to reveal you. It uncovered your strength, awakened your discernment, shaped your authority, and aligned your spirit. Without it, you would not carry what you carry now. This was never punishment. It was preparation. It confirmed that you are a disruption to darkness, a breaker of cycles, a carrier of light. Every lie spoken over you, every delay, every closed door, every heartbreak now stands as proof that you are exactly who God declared you to be. You are not cursed. You are not losing your mind. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The battle surrounding your life is not your shame. It is your sign. After this realization, you don't return to who you were because innocence is gone and alignment has begun. It is heaven's confirmation that your story matters, your light cannot be extinguished, and your rise is inevitable. Before anything else, allow the pressure to fall away. You don't need to fix yourself, prove anything, or carry one more invisible weight to be worthy of what God is doing. Nothing more is required of you in this moment. You are allowed to pause. In this season, alignment begins with permission. Permission to stop striving and let your soul exhale. You might notice that rest now looks simple and quiet, like allowing your body to slow when it feels tired, or letting a moment of stillness arrive without filling it with noise. Trust may look like beginning your day without rehearsing everything that could go wrong, or gently releasing the need to explain your journey to people who were never meant to understand it. Release can be as small as noticing when your thoughts start circling the same fear and choosing to let it pass without arguing with it, without solving it. Receive may look like accepting peace when it shows up unexpectedly, even if nothing around you has changed yet. These are not passive acts, they are spiritual alignment. Rest here is not giving up. It is preparation. It is the posture that agrees with the truth that God is already working in places you cannot see. You don't need to rush clarity. You don't need to force movement. You are invited to move gently, to respond rather than react, to choose softness over urgency. When uncertainty rises, you don't need to conquer it. You can simply acknowledge it and allow God to carry what feels too heavy. Trust in this season often sounds like a quiet inner allowance to say, I don't need to figure this out today. Release may feel like setting down expectations you've been gripping out of fear rather than faith. Receive may feel like letting joy linger a little longer without questioning whether it's deserved. The right action now is not more effort, but the right posture. Alignment over exhaustion, stillness over striving, presence over pressure. Nothing is being missed because you rest. Nothing is falling apart because you slow down. God is not waiting for you to hold everything together. He is already doing his part, arranging timing, opening paths, and carrying outcomes you were never meant to control. You don't need to understand the full picture or manage the result, because what has been set apart for you will arrive in its own time, without force, without fear, and without you having to strain to make it happen. As this message settles, there is nothing you need to chase or analyze. What moved inside you was not random, and what resonated was not misplaced. Every emotion that surfaced, every moment of recognition, every quiet release carried meaning. You are not behind. You have not missed your moment. You have not been forgotten. The path you have walked, even the parts that felt heavy or unclear, belongs to the season you are in. What you've endured, what you've questioned, and what you've quietly survived has all been seen. There is no rush now, no pressure to reach for the next answer or understand the full picture. You are allowed to rest in what has already been revealed. You are held here, not suspended, not overlooked, but kept. The strength that carried you through the struggle can soften now. The vigilance that kept you alert can ease. You are not alone in this space. You are not walking without covering. Everything unfolding is moving at the right pace for you, even if it hasn't always felt that way. Let yourself remain here, just for a moment longer, in the stillness that follows, as we gently transition into the quiet space of prayer together. If it feels safe for you, you're invited to leave a few words in the comments, not something polished, just what your heart has been carrying, a hope, a wound, a worry, a question you've never known how to say out loud. Writing it here is more than a comment. It can be an act of release, a quiet placing of that weight before God, trusting that He sees, He hears, and He holds it in His perfect timing. If this moment brought comfort, you're welcome to share it with someone who may need the same reassurance, and to subscribe if you feel drawn to stay connected. You are not alone, and this moment is being held in God's presence and grace.